students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. I hope everybody has had an awesome week and I hope welcome. This is an IELTS reading class and we are going to be looking at an academic IELTS reading passage about the lotteries. Now for general IELTS students, this will still be effective because your third reading section is very similar, and this could easily be a reading passage for the third section of the general IELTS as well. This reading passage and these materials again are brought to you by aehelp.com. For academic IELTS, visit us there. For general IELTS, visit us at gieltshelp.com. These are the websites that power these live classes. This is our academic IELTS website here. We've got this big red button you can push to access all of the videos, practice exams, interactive course, apps for your phone, much more. So just click that and you are good to go. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. We're an IDP affiliate. We are a British Council partner, an IELTS test registration center, and I'm a certified British Council agent. You can use the code MAPS10 to get a 10% discount. And once you have that, you will be in your My Student account where you have all of your great materials. We are going to use the audio CDs today in this class for the reading. We have read along, basically audio reading for each of these passages, and we're going to read with a British reader and then look at the passage closely today. For general IELTS students, it's kind of the same idea. It's gieltshelp.com. It's the green background. Again, just push that big red button there. I can see many students have joined the class already. That is great. Welcome Anna. Hi Fuang. Welcome Dimitri. Lewis, our chat moderator Carolina. Good to see all of you here on time, ready to learn. This is a members chat class. If anybody would like to join this class, you need to be a member of our YouTube channel. After this class, we will have the listening class where we will practice the listening exam, and that will also be coming from our websites. Now, for those of you who are premium users of the websites, I will be sending you your Zoom links later today, so you should see them within the next 24 hours. If you do not see them, you need to send me an email. For those of you who are not premium students on the website, you can check out what premium student Zoom classes look like with this playlist here. I just put a copy of that into the chat. And again, use that code MAPS10 for that 10% extra kickback on the websites. The apps are Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help, and the apps will link to the websites. There's a function in the app called More and then Link Account, and then you can link the account to your web account so that you can combine the learning in either one. Instagram is IELTS_AE Help and GIELTS Help. And if you have any questions, just send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com or admin@aehelp.com. We are here to help you pass your exam. We help thousands of students every single day to improve their English and pass the exams. Levy, good to see you. I hope you're doing well in Israel. Juan, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well in southern Argentina. Juan, it's getting cold for you. You're in the south hemisphere. For me, it's getting warm in the north hemisphere. It's a nice sunny day here. All right, students. So today, again, it's reading followed by listening. Tomorrow, it will be speaking part 2 for our channel subscribers. So those of you watching and liking these classes, subscribe. It's free. And you get notifications of upcoming live classes. And then we'll have speaking part 3 as well tomorrow. And then we'll have our premium student class on Zoom on Sunday. That's for premium students. Again, if you want to become a premium student, all you have to do is sign up on the websites. Here's this video. We've got a new one coming for you in the next couple of days as well. This video, though, is for the academic task 1 when you're writing about maps. There's the link there for you. Keep up with those videos on the YouTube channel. All right, so let's get into reading. The reading strategies that we're going to focus on today is the correct approach to reading, so the correct method, the correct system, to get those higher band scores. So when we're talking correct approach to reading, there are a lot of different strategies and tips that you learn on the internet and in books and in classes. I'm going to specifically focus on the reading strategies that you need to do to get. And for that, one of the steps that you need to take is actually read the passage. If you can get a band 7 without reading the passage, with just kind of skimming or scanning through the passage, the good news is you can probably get a much better score if you just read the passage. Okay? So definitely it's important to read the passage and to read it effectively, to read it efficiently. Okay? So the correct approach to a higher band is to read the passage. Also, the correct approach is to visualize information. I mention this all the time, and for those of you who are in these classes regularly, you'll say, yes, I know, Adrian, you say that all the time. We have to see this passage. So when you have this passage, this is the passage we're looking at today. Again, for those of you who have access to the premium course, you'll find this on page 91 of your book. Okay, so for those of you who have access to the academic premium version, in the IELTS exam workbook study plans, when you download practice test book 1, okay, you open that up with your email. Your email address is your password for the PDF, and then you go to page 91 and you will find this passage in that book. Okay, if you don't have that, that's okay for now. We will use my copy here. Lewis says, yes, I remember. Critical thinking, paraphrasing, visualization are key. Yes, they are for information acquisition, processing, and application. Absolutely, Lewis, you're right. Good. I'm happy to see that. That tells me that Lewis is going through the interactive course. That's great. Okay, so we're looking at lotteries here. And this is the title. Just read with me. So, lotteries, positive good or unnecessary wrong. All right, so you've read this title. Now, here's my first question to you, everyone. When you read this title, what do you see? Okay, so Dimitri, what do you see when you think about this and when you read this? So you've opened up the reading section of your IELTS exam. You've started the reading section of your IELTS exam. You're looking at this passage and you go, lotteries, positive good or unnecessary wrong. What do you actually see? I should be reading full sentence answers to this question. So the word money or chances or lucky chances is not good. Okay, that's telling me you're not really seeing information. So I need full sentence answers here. Okay, so what do you see when you read the title, lotteries, positive good or unnecessary wrong. So when you read a title like that, you should have a clear image in your head, and I think that most of us have experience with this. So lucky chances, probability, money, we're just throwing out random single word concepts and thoughts, but it's not something that you actually see. So what you should be thinking, what you should be imagining in your IELTS exam, for instance, is I'm filling out my 6 numbers on a lottery ticket in the mall, hoping to win $1 million, but at the same time I feel like I'm throwing $5 into the garbage can. Okay, so if you asked me what I see when I read this title, I would literally tell you that that's what I see. Okay, I've played the lottery, and I've tried my luck at winning the millions and millions of dollars, but what I'm actually seeing is literally, like, I've got my favorite numbers, you know, my birthdays and my kids' birthdays and so on. And I'm kind of standing there all excited, and I see myself with the pen and those neon lights of the shopping mall, and I'm filling out those numbers, and I'm like, you know, I did study finite math in university, and I know that the odds of winning this is something like 1 in 20 million, which is much less likely than getting hit by lightning. So what am I really doing here? I'm just throwing money in the garbage, right? So that's what I'm seeing. Okay, so when you read a title, everybody, you need to see the information. Why am I seeing this information? So why? Okay, Dimitri, that's much better. So Dimitri is saying this while you're thinking about the answer there. This is what Dimitri said. So Dimitri said, I buy lottery tickets and imagine that I'm gonna win at the very least 10 million pounds. I'm planning to spend this money on buying a mansion and a Lamborghini. With an H. Yeah, Dimitri, that's a good first step for sure. Okay, so why is it important? Students, why is it important to have this vision before you start reading the passage? Okay, there are a couple of good reasons for this. Why? So why is it important to visualize the passage based on the title? There's a very good reason for this, okay? And I know, Dimitri, you've got your exam coming up, and I really highly recommend you taking a second to do this. Dimitri says, we might face some paragraphs with the same idea. Anahita, very smart. Anahita, you get a big thumbs up. Anahita says, to make it interesting so I can retrieve the information later explicitly. That is a beautiful answer to that question, Anahita. Okay, and I would say that this is even more important than predicting the passage. So you hear this kind of advice from a lot of IELTS teachers that, oh, you should try to predict the passage based on the questions, etc. And yes, that's important, and it's good to predict the passage. But even more importantly, Anahita's correct, okay? One of the biggest problems in the IELTS is that students aren't really interested. They know the IELTS is important, but they don't really care about the information. They don't really care about the passages. They just want a good mark. Like, I just want a good mark. You can't just want a good mark. That's kind of silly. I mean, we're all adults, right? Or we're close to adults. But most of us, I think, are adults, and we realize that it's silly to say, I just want. You can't just want. It's like, I just want to be a millionaire. I just want to be free. I just want to know what I'm reading. I just want a good score. I just want to be happy. It's a silly statement, and we realize that by the time we're adults. If you want something, you need to take action, right? So you can't just want something, right? You need to take action. In that sense, we all just want, right? We all just want to get a good score, but it's not about just wanting to get a good score. It's taking action. So you need to take action to make the passage interesting and engaging. Okay, so to make it interesting so you can retrieve information later explicitly is absolutely correct. Okay, and we do that through our ability to visualize and empathize. Okay, so by visualizing and empathizing, so that we not only better understand the information, but that we can remember and recall the information, right? Okay. Okay. Dimitri says, I just want to win the £1 million. Exactly, right? If it were only that easy. Dimitri, we all wish, right? Okay, and Lewis, I see that you're visualizing. Good. So visualization is an absolute great first step to a better score when you're in the IELTS. Okay, and that's true both for the listening and the reading. So in the upcoming listening class, it's the same advice. When you're doing the listening section, visualize based on the topics of each part what you're going to hear. Okay, now, so once we have this, and once we're like, okay, lotteries, okay, I've played the lottery before, or I've bought a scratch and win ticket, or I've made a bet before, so I have an idea and I can visualize this. Then the next step that I take is to look at the questions. Okay, and the questions, you can read them before the passage. Just make sure you're reading questions before the passage that are contained in the passage. So don't read information that's not contained in the passage, like answers to multiple choice questions, for example. True, false, not given. Definitely don't read that. There's no point. You have no idea what's true, what's false, what's not given. So don't read that, okay? All right, so here we have the first question. Now this is reading, everybody, so read with me. Reading passage 1 has 6 paragraphs, A to F. Which paragraph contains the following information? So here we know that all of these statements are going to be found somewhere in the passage. Okay? So all of these statements are somewhere in the passage, so it's contained all in the passage. So we're going to read these statements, and then we're going to paraphrase them. Paraphrasing them, again, helps us engage the information and helps us to focus and better understand the upcoming information. Now, this kind of question right away should tell you that skimming and scanning is not going to be effective for this passage, because what if question number 1 is at the end of the passage? Why would you skim read the whole passage to try to find one answer? That's just silly, okay? And then question 3 turns out to be in the second to last paragraph. Now you're skim reading the whole passage again. By the time you skim read the whole passage for the 5th time, you might as well have just read it once correctly and know where to look for this information, okay? So skim reading is really ineffective when you've got these matching information and true false not given questions, okay? All right, so we read the question, the problem of gambling addiction, and then what we do at home when we practice is we paraphrase that, because the way IELTS works is that they use different words, synonyms, descriptions to say the information. So how can we say that in a different way? How can we say the problem of gambling addiction? Anybody? What's a different way to say that? Okay. Maybe we could say the concern of playing chance games becoming an obsession. All right, that's one way I would paraphrase it. There's lots of ways to paraphrase it. When a person is obsessed, they're addicted. Okay, great way to learn vocabulary like the word obsession. Okay, so the problem of gambling addiction, the concern of playing chance games becoming an obsession. Dimitri says the issue of overplaying lotteries. Lewis says the issue of being glued to gambling. Yes, could be. Right? It's a little bit slang, but at least it's getting us to think about it deeply in a different way. Right, Lewis? Domenico, your exam is coming up too, so get focused. Get into the paraphrasing. All right, how about this one? The less fortunate are more likely to play the lottery. So those with less money are more probable to gamble. Okay, that could be another way to say that. I think the less fortunate, this collocation, less fortunate, often refers to people with less money, like poverty. Okay, so those less fortunate are more likely to play the lottery. Those with less money are more probable to gamble. All right. Anna says the issue of being addicted to casinos. Sure. Fuang says delusion of playing lottery turns into a deficit. Yep. Lewis, very nice. Lewis says those less well off have less purchasing power to pursue their lottery games. Maybe. More likely to play the lottery, Lewis. So less purchasing power, I don't think that's important there. Anna, I like it. Anna has this paraphrase. Anna's is quite good. I'm just going to put it up here. It's simple paraphrasing is always very good. So, sorry, it's Mal. Mal, very good. Mal says lottery is a game for the poor. Yeah. Very nice paraphrasing, Mal. Very nice. I have a feeling you had some good visualization going on there. Yes, you usually don't see super wealthy people at the lottery station in malls, usually. So quite possibly, Mal. I think that's a very good paraphrase. Okay. The legalities of lotteries. So the laws that govern casinos. Sure. Maybe something like that. Okay. The financial incentive for governments to run lotteries. So the money motivation for authorities to host lotteries? Sure. Okay. And at home, again, just nice and smooth, write it down in the IELTS exam. You don't have enough time to write it all down, so you just go through them as you read them. You kind of do it in your head. You go through it in your head. Community initiatives are funded by lottery proceeds, so community activities are supported by lottery profits or earnings, right? Something like that for the paraphrase. Okay. True, false, not given. We don't read it, and I see some students are paraphrasing, like Anna says, the legislation for lotteries. Absolutely. Yep. Keep doing it. True, false, not given. We don't read it. And then here we have a summary completion. Okay. Lotteries as reverse insurance. I wonder what that could mean. I'm not 100% sure, but you know what? I don't really care. I'm going to read the passage. I'm sure I'll figure that out. And I have this body paragraph or this summary paragraph here to help me. So let's just read this together. Okay, everybody get ready. Read with me. The reason why people play the lottery can be viewed in terms of what is called reverse insurance. People buy insurance in order to prevent an accident from making them bankrupt. They pay small amounts each month so they don't have to pay the whole price of the something done. Like the lottery corporations, insurance companies turn a something in the long run. With insurance, we pay small amounts to avoid paying a massive amount. With the lottery, we pay small amounts so we might win the something. From this perspective, the lottery's something makes a lot of sense. Okay, so I get it. So it's kind of like with lottery, we pay a little bit because we want to win millions. With insurance, we pay a little bit because we don't want to lose millions. Sure, got it. It's like a reverse insurance. Okay, got it. All right, so now I go back and I read the passage. And as I read the passage, after each paragraph, I ask myself, what is this paragraph about? And then I move on. And in the real IELTS exam, of course, I do this in my head. Now, some people have said to me that they actually did it on paper and they felt that it was really useful. So Dimitri and Domenico, with your upcoming IELTS exams, depending on how it's working for you at home, maybe try both systems, but up to you. Time is an issue in the real IELTS exam, but some people are pretty quick and they feel that if they write down a sentence about what the paragraph is about in the actual exam, it really helps them to just be much more effective at answering the questions. And if they need, they're just much more effective at locating information as well. Does that make sense? You can, Mal, you can, because in a computer-based exam, so Mal says it's not possible to do that in a computer. Yeah, you can, Mal, because you have a note paper. Okay, so on your piece of note paper, Mal, in the computer-based exam, you can just jot down a sentence for each paragraph. So you can. Okay. Juan, that's terrible, but it's a strong visualization. Juan says, there are kids at the school I work getting into online casinos on their phone. That's awful. All right. Here we go, everybody. So again, everyone, we're using the reading from our website at aehelp.com for those of you watching to get access to all of our practice exams. Sign up for our premium package by going to aehelp.com and clicking on the big red button. It is a one-time payment. You do get lifetime access to all of these materials. And then when you're in your My Student account, You have lots of practice materials, computer-based practice exams, a full interactive course. And you have, as part of it, these audio CDs with the reading. So this is going to be reading passage 1 here. Everybody, let's do this together. I'm going to put on my headphones, and then we'll read the passage together and answer the questions. Here we go, everybody.
Lotteries, positive good or unnecessary wrong? A lottery is a form of gambling where contestants purchase tickets, with one or more tickets being drawn as winners at the end of the competition period. Often, there is a jackpot winner who wins most or all of the prize pool. Today, national lottery jackpots can range from millions to hundreds of millions of dollars. It wasn't long ago that lotteries were outlawed almost everywhere in the world. Today, lotteries are legal in North America, Australia, and much of Europe and Asia. A question is raised over what has changed to make something previously seen as negative for society become common across the globe. If gambling is bad, why are lotteries so popular? And why do governments support them? People buy lottery tickets for one chief reason: they want to win the jackpot. In the long run, lotteries are a bad bet. The odds of winning are always stacked against the player. That is to say, the long-term expected return on the player's money is significantly less than the money paid for the tickets. This is how the lottery corporations make money on the lottery. The payout is far less than the revenue of the ticket sales, and the government takes the difference. If 1 million tickets are sold at $5 apiece, and the jackpot is $3 million, then the government has made $2 million of profit in the process. We are forced to question why lotteries are so popular, given their poor value for players. It's because of the thrill of possibly winning the jackpot. The anticipation of a life-changing win for the ticket purchaser is worth the money. It's the same reason why people gamble at casinos. Many people know they are not going to win in the long run at a casino, but the short-term thrill makes up for the long-term losses. The main argument against lotteries is that it acts as a tax on the poor, and such a tax is unfair. This is because statistics show that poor people are by far the most common purchasers of lottery tickets. There are 2 reasons why this could be the case. First, poor people have the most to gain by winning the lottery. Second, poor people are arguably less likely to have a statistical understanding of the lottery. They are less likely to realise that it is a bad bet. The main argument in favour of lotteries is that it is a harmless fun, which results in tax income that often goes straight to community programmes, such as sports or the arts. Many community programmes rely solely on lottery finances to operate. So in this sense, the lottery is a positive good. However, there are many people, often poor people, who become obsessed with gambling and the lottery, and it starts to take over their lives. For these people, the lottery is detrimental. One interesting way to look at the lottery and why people participate in it is to imagine it as a kind of reverse insurance. People buy insurance for their home or car so that if something bad happens to it, they do not have to pay the entire cost of the damage. In other words, they pay a little bit each month so that they don't have to pay a large amount at one time. They pay these smaller amounts to insurance companies, and those insurance companies make money in the long run. So paying insurance is not a good bet either. Just like the lottery. With the lottery, we pay little amounts every once in a while so that maybe we will hit the jackpot. With insurance, we pay a little to save a lot, and with the lottery, we pay a little to win a lot. When looked at in this way, the popularity of the lottery is more easily understood. When it comes to it, lotteries are a choice. Yes, they amount to a tax, but so do the monthly fees we pay to insurance companies. If people want to pay a few dollars here and there for a little fun, excitement, and a small chance to win a monstrous amount of money, then what's the harm? Additionally, lottery money funds many valuable community programs, which otherwise would have trouble operating. Playing the lottery responsibly is fun, exciting, and maybe, just maybe, extremely profitable.
All right. students.
The
That is the reading from the website. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start up a Zoom session here for our YouTube members to read and answer these questions with me. And then the second goal of today's class, of course, is to focus on some of the question-specific strategies, especially the matching information. Those of you with upcoming exams, it's like 95% sure that you will see this matching information questions on your reading, in your reading section, as well as the true, false, not given. So we'll look at those two and we'll work on them together. This is the Zoom link, members, for practicing the reading with me today. Okay. I'm going to just start the Zoom session for us now. Okay, and you can join with that link that I just put into the YouTube chat, and we will read the passage again with volunteers and then answer these questions and just go through it step by step so you can see how this all works, what we're talking about. Okay, so go ahead and enter that Zoom session. Okay. Again, for those of you who are excited and interested in this class, we have premium student Zoom sessions each week. So on the websites, while we wait for our students to join in, again, on these websites, aehelp.com and gieltshelp.com, when you sign up for the premium version, then you will get links to weekly premium Zoom classes. You just need to click these big red buttons, okay, to sign up for that. So keep that in mind. All right, let's see who's in the Zoom session now. I'm going to just let everybody in. Good. All right, and for those of you who would like to volunteer, just do so by raising your hand. So use your reactions options and then raise your hand. Okay, all right, let's start with V today. V, can you unmute yourself?
Hi, Mr. Adrian. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good now. Thank you, V, for asking. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, sir. Thank you for asking.
Perfect. All right. V, let's do this. So let's start reading. Go ahead when you see the title come up, read the title and paragraph A.
Lotteries. Positive rules or unnecessary wrongs. A lottery is a form of gambling where contestants purchase tickets with one or more tickets being drawn as winners at the end of the competition period. Often, there is a jackpot winner who wins most of all of the prize pool. Today, national lottery jackpot can range from millions to hundreds of millions of dollars. It wasn't long ago that lotteries were outlawed almost everywhere in the world. Today, lotteries are legal in North America, Australia, and much of Europe and Asia. A question is raised over what has changed to make something previously seen as negative for society become common across the globe. If gambling is bad, why are lotteries so popular, and why do governments support them?
Okay, good. All right, V, so you read the introduction, you're in the exam, and you're like, okay, I'm visualizing this, right? First of all, when you read this, what do you see?
It introduces what is a lottery.
Yeah, but what do you
definition.
see? What do you actually imagine inside of your head? So when you're reading this information, how do you see this for yourself? You're currently in Vietnam, right?
Yes,
Okay. Do you have lotteries in Vietnam?
we do. It's called Get Lot, I think.
Okay. Have you ever played it?
I actually bought 1 or 2 tickets and actually like win one.
Okay, good. So that's what you should be seeing. So you should be seeing that situation of you buying that ticket, winning that money, being happy. So you should be seeing that, right, when you're reading this introduction. Okay.
For about like 200 billion Vietnam dong.
So 200 billion Vietnam dong, that's a lot of
Yes,
money,
that is a
right?
lot of money.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's what you should be seeing here, okay? So in the introduction, in your case, all right, so, and this is obviously in the case of V, you should be seeing I'm playing the National Lottery, hoping to, not hobbing, hoping, to win billions of Vietnamese duong. I think it's called VND.
VND.
Yeah, exactly, VND. So I'm playing the National Lottery, hoping to win billions of VND, and the government does this to raise funds. Right, so something like that, okay? So what is the paragraph about? The history of the lottery, right?
Lottery, yeah.
Sure. So that's the kind of information that should be in your head when you read this paragraph, okay? You don't want to just read, and then spend, 8 minutes reading the passage, and then when you finish reading the passage, you go, oh, what did I just read? Right? So you don't want to have that feeling. So it's very important to stop after each of these paragraphs and kind of get a clear idea. Is that clear, V? Does that make sense?
Yes, I'm always bad at summarizing the ideas of every paragraph.
Good.
Reading.
Yeah, that's so very important. So just keep doing that. V, hang in there. We're going to go through the rest of this passage and answer some questions, okay? Thank you for being my first volunteer. And I'm happy that you've won some cash on the lottery.
It's not a lot, but it's paid for my breakfast.
Paid for your breakfast. Hey, there you go. Breakfast on the government. All right. Thank you, V.
Yeah, goodbye, sir.
Bye, V. All right. Let's ask Anna here to unmute. Hi, Anna.
Hello. Hello again. Just I will mute the YouTube.
All right. Okay, Anna, let's pick up where V left off. So let's go to people buying.
Passage B.
Yeah, paragraph B. Yes.
Yeah.
When you're ready.
Yes, I'm ready. People buy lottery tickets for one chief reason. They want to win the jackpot. In long run, lotteries are a bad bet. The odds of winning are always stacked against the player. That is to say, the long-term expected return on the player's money is significantly less than the money paid for the tickets. This is how the lottery corporations make money on the lottery. Their payout is far less than the revenue of the ticket sales, and the government takes the difference. If 1 million tickets are sold at $5 a piece, and the jackpot is $3 million, then the government has made $2 million of profit in the process. We are forced to question why lotteries are so popular given their poor values for players. It's because of the thrill of possibly winning the jackpot and anticipation of a life-changing win for the tickets purchaser is worth the money. It's the same reason why people gamble at at casinos. Many people now they are not going to win in the long run at a casino, but the short-term thrill make up for the long-term losses.
Okay, good. Just repeat after me. And a casino.
Casino,
Casino.
casino,
Casino.
casino.
There you go. Makes up for the long-term
Makes up
losses.
Makes up for long run losses.
All right. So Anna, what is this paragraph about?
This paragraph is about this lottery is games which affects people. They really understood that they won't win in a large term, but they wanna win a jackpot and they buy tickets again, even they will be a loser. For a short run, they will buy a ticket because they wanna win a jackpot.
Partly. So I would say, yes, that's partly. That's half of it. There's more to the paragraph than that. So it's a longer paragraph, and that's part of the answer. So
and it's about profit, how government make profit from the casinos, and how people wanna make win a jackpot. Yeah, it's about profit from the government, like.
So to go back what you said first, it's the reason people play lottery, right? Or lotteries, and the reason governments
make profit,
host lotteries, right? Or do lotteries. So if we want to simplify this, we could just say the mechanism
procedure mechanism
of lotteries. Right? So that would be the simplest way to say it. So the mechanism of lotteries. So the reason people play lotteries and the reason governments host lotteries, right? Because governments make a profit. All right. Anna, good. Thank you for reading. Anna, do make sure that you do. So your reading is good. To improve your fluency and to help with pronunciation, I highly, highly recommend doing 20 minutes of aloud reading in English each and every day. Okay, each and every day, just 20 minutes. Just pick a time in the day before maybe watching that show late night or after dinner. Just 20 minutes where you sit down, you open up a book and just do 20 minutes of aloud reading, and try to do it with audio reading. So do it with a reading passage where you can hear a native speaker. So some audio book, right? Listen to the native speaker read it and then read it after, and I think it will do wonders for your fluency and pronunciation. Okay?
Yeah. And I have a question. If I understand this statement of matching information questions, I also need to paraphrase this statement if I really understand vocab. I also need to challenge myself to paraphrase this question statement of matching information like we did today from 1 to 6 questions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, paraphrasing is the way that we check our understanding and proficiency of the information. So definitely, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I need to take at least one Cambridge book, different Cambridge book, and paraphrase the statements like from real Cambridge questions.
Absolutely, yeah. That's the mechanism of the IELTS exam, is paraphrasing. Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
And my goal to paraphrase questions a lot and practice to paraphrase, and after this did test and then the condition, or don't think about exam condition and don't only learn how to paraphrase, how to answer correctly.
As a first step, don't think about the exam conditions. However, as you're getting closer to your exam, like Dimitri is, for example, or Domenico, you should definitely simulate the exam conditions. So you should do it within the 20-minute time limit, and you should simulate it by having one piece of note paper and your pencil there. So, so definitely copy the exam situation. But when you first start to paraphrase, no. In fact, when you first start to do your paraphrasing, I highly recommend having a thesaurus, having a dictionary to help you figure out different ways, and even doing it 2 or 3 different ways, not just one way. So taking the time to do it multiple ways. Okay. Yeah, good question, Anna.
Okay,
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for giving me a chance to be a volunteer.
For sure. Bye, Anna. All right. Let's take Dimitri. Everybody hang in there. We've got lots and lots. Louis Fong, don't go anywhere, everybody. I'm going to admit some of your classmates in. Okay, Dimitri, if
Hello.
you're there. Hi. How are you, Dimitri?
Hello, Adrian. I'm doing well, thank you. Yourself?
I am feeling splendid. Thank you.
Splendid.
All
Why
right. So, Dimitri, let's keep going. Paragraph C, as soon as you see it there. Go ahead.
Right. I do hope you can hear me well, much better than yesterday.
Loud and clear.
Right. The main argument against lotteries is that it acts as a tax on the poor, and such a tax is unfair. This is because statistics show that poor people are by far the most common purchasers of lottery tickets. There are 2 reasons why this could be the case. First, poor people have the most to gain by winning the lottery. Second, poor people are arguably less to have a statistical understanding of the lottery. They are less likely to realize that it is a bad bet.
Okay, so what is this paragraph about?
This paragraph explains why the poor people are most likely so they're most commonly they most commonly play the lotteries.
And is this good or bad?
Bad. So it says bad.
Yeah, and this is bad, right? It's like taking the last little bit of money that a poor person has, right? It's like cheating them out of their last little bit of money, right? So, and in the IELTS, Dimitri, the trick will be to just simplify the simplification, and that makes sense, right? The people who make these IELTS exams, they themselves are university graduates, and sometimes I think maybe they themselves don't know exactly why they're doing what they're doing, but they're doing what they learned in university. And in university, and even in high school, the common practice that students learn is to take information like from a book or from a chapter, right? And then simplify that information. So to summarize the information and be able to give much shorter, simpler answers in connection to that information. And the IELTS is no different. So you have a passage, and then basically you have a simplification of the information. So your goal is to be able to use your English to simplify the information that you read. So here, what is this paragraph about? The reasons poor people are likely to play lotteries, and this is bad, right? Good.
So in other words, be concise.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. It's a big part of our existence. Yeah, for sure. It's our irony as humans. As little children, we learn language and we learn to express ourselves and become imaginative and creative, and we like to tell stories. And then as we grow older and we become adults, we like to tell stories so much that people start to get confused. So we learn and teach each other to become concise again and become more like when we were born and just say food, hungry, eat, go to bathroom. Right? So yeah. All right, Dimitri, let's do one more. These are some short paragraphs, so go ahead and read D for me, please.
The main argument in favor of lotteries is that it is harmless fun, which results in tax income that often goes straight to community programs such as sports or the arts. Many community programs rely solely on lottery finances to operate. So in this sense, the lottery is a positive good. However, there are many people, often poor people, who become obsessed with gambling and the lottery, and it starts to take over their lives. For these people, the lottery is detrimental.
Okay, so in one sentence, what is this paragraph about? And this should be a sentence that's a complex sentence using some kind of conjunction of opposition, like although or however.
Well, I can see this one. However, there are many people, often poor people, who become obsessed with gambling and the lottery. So, it explains about the poor people who become obsessed with gambling and the lottery.
Okay, stay in the same structure as the paragraph. That's not how this paragraph starts. This paragraph starts with other information. So although lotteries, classmates, you can help Dimitri out here. So if somebody is paying attention here, it's not just me and Dimitri. Mal, Fuang, I know that you're
Although
enjoying your
lotteries-
teas, but although lotteries, yes.
Although lotteries are good, because I can see the lottery is a
Although
positive
lotteries
good,
are good because, yes, because why?
because many community programs rely solely on lottery finances to operate. They found.
Yeah, so although lotteries are good because they fund community programs, comma, yes. And then what's the rest of it? What's the opposite here at the end in a short phrase? They are also detrimental
Oh, they're also detrimental.
because
Because it starts to take over their lives.
what does that, so there's one word that you can say. Remember that paraphrase that I did? I even used that word that's in there in my paraphrasing, the obsessed word. Because people, when somebody is obsessed, when it takes over your life, you are
addicted to something.
yeah, you're addicted.
Addicted to something.
Yeah. So ideally, your perfect, or more or less perfect paraphrase would be, although lotteries are good because they fund community programs, they're also detrimental because people become addicted, right? That would make sense. Okay. All right. So remember, Dimitri, when you're in your test, when you're paraphrasing and you're summarizing, make sure to keep the same order as the information in the paragraph. Okay. Don't mix it up. Otherwise, you're going to get mixed up when you're trying to answer those questions. Okay.
Yeah, from up to down.
Up to down, left to right, always. Okay. Left to right, up to down. That's the way we process information in most countries, not all. China's different, right? For instance, that's they're right to left, up to down. But most it's left to right, up to down is the international. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Dimitri. Make sure to practice that. It'll help you a lot in your upcoming test. Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Bye, Dimitri.
See ya.
Okay, that was Dimitri. By the way, don't forget to support each other. And I'm also enjoying a yummy peach fruit tea here, Mal and Fuang, but make sure to keep focused at the same time, all right? Okay, students, let's keep going here. Fuang, can you unmute yourself, please? Hi, Fuang.
Hi, sir. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing quite well. Thank you for asking, Fuang. How are you this evening?
Well, I have just finished my dinner. This noodle soup, cauliflower in Vietnam. It's delicious.
Yummy, yummy. I like cauliflower. That's great. That's a late dinner, Fuang.
Yeah, I have just come home from my university.
Wow, so late, so late. You're working hard.
Yeah.
All right. Fuang, go ahead and read paragraph E for us.
Okay, sir. One interesting way to look at the lottery and why people participate in it is to imagine it as a kind of reverse insurance. People buy insurance for their home or car so that if something bad happens lost, they do not have to pay the entire cost of the damage. In other words, they pay a little bit each month so that don't have to pay a large amount at one time. They pay the smaller amount to insurance companies and those insurance companies make money in the long run. So paying insurance is not a good bet either. Just like the lottery. With the lottery, we pay little amounts every once in a while, so that maybe we will hit the jackpot. With insurance, we pay little to sell a lot, and with the lottery, we pay little to win a lot. When looked at in this way, the popularity of the lottery is more easily understood.
Fuang, your reading is getting better. Your pronunciation is getting better. That's really good. You've been practicing, haven't you?
Thank you, sir. I have practiced English a lot with another friends in my university these days, so I think my pronunciation improved a little bit.
It's improved a lot. It's improved a lot. Very good. Let me give you one more tip to help you even more. Watch. So English has a lot of s and s sounds at the ends of words, like insurance companies, insurance companies. So when you're reading those s and s, put a little bit more emphasis on them. Okay. So just repeat after me. Amounts.
Amounts,
Insurance.
insurance,
Insurance.
insurance,
Good. Companies.
companies,
Yeah, English speakers are like snakes. We like hissing. Sa 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 sa. Okay. So when you're starting to sound like a snake that's slithering and going su su, then you're sounding English. Okay. So just don't be shy and really pronounce those s and sa sounds. Okay. Fuang, what is this paragraph about?
Well, I think this paragraph make a comparison between the insurance and the lottery, sir.
Yeah, perfect. It's a comparison between insurance and lottery. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. Yeah, there's a clear kind of inverse comparison there. Good. That's it. Fuang, can you read the conclusion for us, F, please?
Okay, so when it comes down to it,
Okay, just a sec. Okay, strong on those S's, Fuang, okay? When it comes down to it, lotteries are a choice, okay? Just overemphasize it. So the way you get the hang of it is try to overemphasize it, and then your brain will reset and it'll sound just normal, okay? So strong on those ending S's, okay?
Okay, so
Okay, one more time.
when it comes down to it, lotteries are a choice. Yes, they amount to a tax, but so do the monthly fees we pay to insurance companies. If people want to pay a few dollars here and there for a little fun, excitement, and a small change to win a monstrous amount of money, then what's the harm? Additionally, lottery money fund many valuable community forums, which otherwise would have trouble operating. Playing the lottery responsibly is fun, exciting, and maybe extremely profitable.
Okay, good. That was much better. All right. Yeah, really pronounce those S's. That was good. Okay, what is the conclusion about, Fuang?
Well, I think playing lottery will make people addicted.
Is it just that, though? Is it just playing lotteries can make people addicted? I don't know if it really says that. Playing lotteries
Earn money.
can be good, fun, exciting, and people may win a lot of money. What's the first sentence? Read the first sentence.
When it comes down to it, lottery are a choice.
Right, and in this case, that's kind of what it's about, right? Like, you decide. The author basically says, look, you will likely lose money, but it's a choice. It's up to you, and who knows? Maybe you'll win tons of money, and maybe it will just be a breakfast, like with V, right? So, So you never know. But it's a choice, right? So that's what I would say. Lotteries are a choice. All right. Fuang, thank you so much for reading, and stay tuned. We're going to answer these questions now together, okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Fuang, and good work. I can tell you're improving. Good work, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Bye, Fuang. All right, let's give Fuang a thumbs up. Yes, for those of you who know Fuang, and she's been very diligent in these classes for some time now, you can tell, yeah, her pronunciation is starting to become clear, and not only that, but her intonation. I'm sure some of you caught that. You're like, she's sounding more natural, right? Anahita says, yeah, the author hasn't really taken a position. So the author has just presented the facts and said, hey, okay, lotteries, people become addicted, people lose money, it's a tax on the poor, but at the end of the day, a few people do win a lot of money, and community programs get funding, and hey, it's a choice, right? Anahita, I agree with you. Lots of thumbs up from Domenico and Lewis. That is fantastic. All right, let's get Lewis here to unmute. Lewis, can you chime in for us, please?
Hi, Adrian. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Lewis. I'm good. All right. Lewis, I'm going to get you to help me out with some questions here. So ideally, so now you have these, okay, so in the real exam, right, what's happening, obviously, is we're taking a lot less time to read a passage like this. So ideally, Lewis, you would have read this passage in about 8 to 10 minutes. And within those 8 to 10 minutes, you would have stopped after each paragraph and also kind of summarized in a relatively accurate sentence, in a concise sentence, what the paragraph is about. Then you get to these matching information to paragraph questions, right? You pay attention, you read this part, NB, it means note by the way. You may use any letter more than once. That means that you could have paragraph A or B or C fit for 2 of these or even 3 of these. It's usually only one will repeat, but you never know, right? So the goal is for you to understand the paragraph. So if you understood them, if you summarize them, you should be pretty good, and you shouldn't necessarily have to skim read the whole passage to figure these out, right? So let's do it. Let's see how many we can kind of get, or at least get close to. All right. Lewis, can you read number 1 for us?
The problem of gambling addiction.
Okay, which paragraph was that? Do you remember?
Yeah, it should be paragraph A.
A? Why do you say A?
Because it says a question is raised over what has changed to make something previously seen as negative for society. It says negative for society, and until the end.
Okay, look at my paraphrasing of this phrase. Read the paraphrasing that we did before we read the passage. This is why it's good to do this paraphrasing, because this will help you to be more precise. So the actual question in the exam will say the problem of gambling addiction. My paraphrasing, or quote unquote the candidate's paraphrasing, says the concern of playing.
The concern of playing chance games becoming an obsession. So I have to look for obsession somewhere.
Now that was somewhat lucky that I used the same word that was in that paragraph. Let me give you a hint. It was Dimitri that read this paragraph.
I saw it. It's in paragraph D.
I believe you're right. It was either C or D. Do you remember the summary that Dimitri gave? It was although. It was a complex sentence starting with although lotteries can, Dimitri probably remembers, although lotteries can fund community programs,
lotteries are good because they found community programs, they're also detrimental because people will become obsessed with gambling and the lottery.
Yeah, very good, very good. There you go. See, it's there,
Okay,
right?
got it.
So,
Yeah,
Lewis,
got it.
it's there. And in a 1-hour reading exam, everybody, to get a band 8 or a band 9, you have to apply effective information processing like that. You just have to. So, because you don't want to kind of be sure that you're getting the right answers. You want to be sure, right? And you're right. It is D. Lewis, so you did remember it correctly. It was D. And that's right. That's exactly what we said with Dimitri. Although lotteries are good because they fund community programs, they are also detrimental because people become addicted. So another important step, everybody, especially in the reading section, is once you've summarized and paraphrased and you're confident that that's the main information, then you have to be confident. You can't second guess yourself. So you have to know that, okay, that's where I use the word addicted. That's the one talking about addiction. So it has to be D. If you're just trying to search for that, it's going to be a nightmare in the reading section. It's going to be really difficult. So let's do that. So D. Okay, Lewis, number 2.
Those less fortunate are more likely to play the lottery. I think should be paragraph C, I guess.
Yeah. And don't even say I guess. So train your brain to say I know. Say
I know.
It's paragraph
I know.
C, I know. Build
It's
confidence.
I know.
Yeah. Make your brain earn confidence. Yeah. So C, because that was the one that Dimitri read before that one, which was talking about that very clear negative that poor people are more likely to play the lottery, right? I think Mal had that really good paraphrase for it where, what did Mal say? He said, lottery is a game for the poor. Remember, Mal said that lottery is a game for the poor, and that was a really good paraphrase. And absolutely, that's one of the best, most concise ways to paraphrase C. Is lottery is a game for the poor. It's a game that taxes the poor. So that was very good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Number 3, Lewis, read that for us, please.
The legality of lotteries. It should be paragraph 2. I know.
Okay, let's check. Right, so it's if you're not 100% sure yet, then you might want to check. So people buy lottery tickets for one chief reasons.
Oh no, I changed my mind. It should be paragraph A.
Okay, why? What does it say in A?
Because it says today lotteries are legal in North America, meaning that it is made legal.
Yep. And read this part here before that, especially the part that I just highlighted. It's going to probably take you a couple seconds to see it, and you should see it any second now on the screen, the highlighted part.
It wasn't long ago that lotteries were outlawed almost everywhere in the world. Today,
Okay, perfect. Yep, you got it. Okay, and the other part you just said, so you said they're legal. And notice here how it says outlawed, right? So we have the word law as the root in the word outlawed. So again, that's showing you that that's the legalities. Yeah, so it's A, okay? Which makes sense because that's the foundation, that's the introduction to this topic, right? So absolutely makes sense. Now, when you're doing the IELTS exam correctly, everyone, when you're doing it correctly and with good reading strategy, good comprehension, then you should not feel too stressed during the questions. You should feel relatively calm and smooth. You shouldn't be flipping pages searching for keywords and all kinds of information. You should be calm. There should be logic and order. Okay, number 4, Lewis, read that one for me, please.
The financial incentive for governments to run lotteries. And it should be
Think
paragraph
about
paragraph E.
So everybody spends $2 on a ticket. The government collects $5 million. They make $2 million in profit. Do you remember that one? the mechanism. Anna was the one to read that one. To run lotteries.
I feel I'm scheming again.
Right? Yeah, you're not allowing your brain time to just logically process, right? So remember the mechanism, right? So Anna said, oh yeah, it's the reasons. Remember, it was the reasons people play lotteries. That was the exact wording that Anna and I came up with. The reasons that people play lotteries and the reasons that governments run lotteries. The reasons that government run lotteries is financial incentive, right? So which paragraph was that?
Paragraph B.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And another way, so one other step that can help everybody, so pay attention students, is think about the logic, right? So legalities of lotteries. Let's introduce that at the start because that makes sense, right? The reason people play and the reasons governments run lotteries, that should be close to the start, right? That should be somewhere in the beginning as well, either A or B, because it makes sense to use that as the foundation for this topic. Then we're going to talk about the negatives and the positives, one or the other, right? And then we're going to conclude and tell people what we think as the author, whether or not you should play, or in this case, just tell you that it's your choice. You should just be aware that you know what you're doing and not become addicted, right?
Yeah.
So have that. So think about it from the position of the author, Lewis. Like if I wrote this essay, how would I structure this information? That can often really help you figure out what goes where. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, how do I avoid forgetting information I have read from previous paragraphs? That's my problem.
By visualizing and accurately summarizing each paragraph. That's exactly how you do it. So you step in. So you have to. So for instance, when you're reading about poor people spending money, you should see that. So you should see yourself, and you're out of money, you're out of luck. You've paid all your money for your school fees and your travel fees, and you've got zero in your bank account. You're holding your last shiny New Zealand dollar, right? And you go, $1 on black, and I'm going to be a millionaire, right? So, and then you lose your last shiny dollar, and now you're really upset, right? So you should see that information, okay? You should see that information.
Like the same strategies. Got it.
Absolutely. You just have to refine it. It's, and it's, so before people think that I'm crazy and I've lost my mind, if you research mnemonic strategies, mnemonic means memory or brain strategies, mnemonic. Do you know this word, mnemonic, Lewis?
No, sir.
Okay. Have you ever seen those YouTube videos, or they have them on TV sometimes, those people who are like, we call them geniuses because they read like 100 different items to them, like grandfather clock, yellow pencil, purple marble, and then they keep going and going and going, and they say like 100 or 200 different items, or like random items, and then the person will say, what was item number 67? And then the person will say, item number 67 was a green apple. And then everybody's like, oh my goodness, how did they do that? It's so amazing, right? Have you ever seen that kind of like genius or YouTube video?
Yeah, those with superb memory.
Yeah, okay, they're not. So a lot of those people, sure, okay, some have, an extra bit of ability or talent for memory, but it's not that they're so different from you or me, Lewis. That's not the trick. In reality, they have just really practiced visualization, and they tell you in these videos how they do it. And they will say, all I do is I build a story. So when I hear the word grandfather clock, I put the number 1 on top of the grandfather clock, right? So you have the grandfather clock and you have the number 1 on it. And then when I hear yellow pencil, then I imagine that the grandfather clock has the number 1. The yellow pencil is the minute hand on that clock, and the pencil has the number 2 on it, or it's pointing at the number 2 on the clock. And by the time they get to green apple, which is 67, then the green apple has a 67 on it, and the green apple is what is in the bird's mouth that comes out of the clock. And they can see that apple with that number. So when somebody asks them what is number 67, they can go, oh, that's the green apple that's coming out of the clock in the bird's mouth. So they've built a story that's linked and connected in their memory stream, and they can access any piece of information that you ask them throughout that memory stream. And when you practice that, you can master it. It takes a little bit. It's not like it's going to happen in one day, right? But when you practice it, you can become really good, and you can remember up to a couple hundred unique items in sequence. Okay?
Got it.
You got it? So there is logic, there is skill to this. It's not like their brains are so different from yours or mine, okay? Their brains are like yours and mine. They just use a strategy to memorize, okay? It's called the mnemonic device. Okay? They're called mnemonic devices, everybody, all right? And that's what we're doing here. This is not the Magic Adrian technique or trick for IELTS. It's a mnemonic device for you to learn. We're visual learners, humans mostly. Okay, community initiatives are funded by lottery proceeds. Last one. Which one is that? Let me give you a hint. You've already used this answer once. It was Dimitri.
Yeah. It should be.
Although lotteries are, we're going back to that one.
Oh my God! Forget again.
That was, remember, Dimitri said this one. Anahita says, I know this. Yeah, it's D again, right? Now this one's tricky because it appears a second time in the passage, but it's less. They're always looking for the best answer, and the best answer is still D for this one. Okay. So that was that one. All right, Lois, I can see everybody's having fun. So while I've got you here, because we don't have a ton of time left, and I said we'd do a little bit of true, false, not given. I'm going to just do true, false, not given with you. Now, true, false, not given, yes, no, not given. The only difference is true, false, not given is the opinion of the author, and yes, no, not given are facts based on the information. But they're basically the same. At the end of the day, facts are still just opinions. They're just very hard opinions based in science. So here it's more opinion because it's lotteries. It's not so much facts. It's the opinion of the author. So it's true, false, not given. Number 6, go ahead and read that for us, please.
Lotteries are outlawed almost everywhere.
Important or not important to know whether or not lotteries are legal? Yeah, you want to know if you're going to get arrested if you go play a lottery ticket, right? That would be really bad. So it's important. So it's given. Is it true that lotteries are currently outlawed everywhere?
It wasn't long ago. Lottery. It should be true.
Lotteries are outlawed almost everywhere. Careful with your tenses.
No, false.
Yeah, be really careful with that, everybody. Why is it false, Lewis? I know you realized, but just make sure in the exam, I let Adrian's voice guide you in the exam, right? So be careful with the be verb, everybody. On the IELTS exam, they like to get you with that be verb. So pay attention if it's present tense or past tense, right? So Lewis, why is this false?
It is the be verb tense.
Yeah. If it says lotteries were outlawed almost everywhere, would that be true?
That would be true.
Exactly. Yeah. So if it said were, then yes, but are is false because the passage clearly says in A that they are legal in most parts of the world, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So be very careful. Number 7, Lewis.
In the long run, a person who plays a lottery should expect to lose money.
Okay. Is it important to know the odds of winning, the chances of winning for the lottery for this passage?
Absolutely important.
Yeah, definitely, right? It wouldn't make much sense to write a passage like this without talking about that part of it. And is it true?
Of course, it is true.
Yeah. Past or present doesn't matter, right?
Yeah,
It was always true. Yeah, it's basically a fact, right? In the past, you probably lost money. In the present, you're still probably going to lose money. So it's true. Yeah, it's true. Okay, so that's how it goes. Lewis, thank you so much for volunteering. That was really good. And Lewis, yes, it's challenging to get the brain to kind of click into the right procedure.
Yeah.
It takes practice. It's basically all it's I mean, it's maybe a gross oversimplification to say this, but our 20 years of school from the time we're small children until we get into our profession basically focuses on getting people to master these concepts in information. So that's what we're doing, and you know, it's always at a higher and higher level, right? So Lewis, thank you so much. Thank you
for the feedback, Mr. Adrian. See you soon.
You're very welcome. Bye, Lewis. Okay, that was Lewis. Give him a thumbs up. He had the challenging part of the questions. Carolina says, wow, impressive. Yes, Carolina, I expect that you're going to be practicing the memorizing 200 items in sequence. We'll do a little test next time and ask you about item number 114, which will be a pair of pliers with orange handles. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Take a look at the rest of these questions. I'll show you the paragraph completion here as well with the possible choices. You can answer these on your own. Of course, many of you have access to this reading passage in your premium course. Carolina, if you could put the link for that in the chat. Everybody, you can join the premium packages with these big red buttons that are there for the academic IELTS. You'll get the Zoom links too. The green background, okay, for general IELTS. Again, I will get Carolina here to put the links in, and I will also put the links in at the end of the class. Okay, coming up in 30 minutes, we've got another class where our subscribers will be able to join us for listening practice part 3 and part 4. That will be continuing the listening exam that we started last week. So students, aehelp.com, glshelp.com. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, members, for your support. I hope to see you shortly. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from Victoria, and I'm back in 30 minutes with listening. Bye for now, everybody.